Hello and welcome back to Project Rebirth, where last time we finished filling out this island that we started on. And so quite obviously, because this island has no more space to build on, the goal for this episode is to expand beyond it. Eventually I will be building a much bigger city than just the starting one down in this area, but for this episode and just for now, I actually want to fill out these islands up here. So yeah, I want to build some kinda smaller towns on this. I guess technically this is a peninsula here, on this island, and on this really long and thin island as well. As well as maybe this island as well. I'm not sure about this one just yet. And yeah, so that will be the goal for either just this episode or maybe the next few episodes. I'm not quite sure how fast I will be able to fill these islands out. But actually, before I do any of that, there is another thing that I want to do. Right now I have 122 available workers, but I am still not producing any stone. So what I want to do before I start building anything else is actually place a quarry, and I will probably place it next to this iron mine here, since this is kind of a more industrial area. So yeah, let's just grab the quarry tool, let's make a shape that seems about right, and let's place the quarry. Obviously in the wood-themed biome, having a quarry is not the most efficient thing. Most times it's actually cheaper and more efficient to buy stone from the market, but I do still want to have at least a little bit of production myself so that I don't really have to rely on others. And yeah, besides having just a quarry, I also want to place a clay pit that will produce some earth for me. And yeah, so that should be just fine for now. So I'll just click the check mark, and now I have a clay pit as well. And now you might be thinking, why do I actually need the earth resource? Because I still have the starting 1000 and I have not even used a single bit of it. And well, that is actually just because I want to produce some glass. And the way that you do that is by having a glassworks building, which requires 50 clay per day for upkeep. I think that for now I will place 2 of these glassworks buildings, which will obviously consume more clay than I am producing, but once again I can just buy some clay from the global market. But yeah, I don't want to have to buy all of it, so I just placed this clay pit just so the deficit isn't quite as big. And yeah, so I guess we can just have one glassworks building on this island, so let's place it there, and another one on this island over here. I will still move them around when I actually make the towns here, so this is not the final spot that they will be sitting in, but I will just place them kind of randomly here for now, just so I have them placed basically. And yeah, so now we are producing 10 glass per day. And that is actually quite good, because I will need glass in the future for both a town hall, which requires only 20 glass actually, that is not a lot at all, but I will need a lot more glass to place a university eventually, which requires a whole 500 glass, and also for the museum, which requires 500 as well. But yeah, so now with those 2 things out of the way, I think I can actually start building a town on one of these islands. But if I go ahead and try to place housing like this right away, you can see that I actually cannot place it on this island. And that is because you can only place housing near to your center, which is right over here in the middle of this island. And the way that you can expand that is by going once again in the housing tab and placing a market. I do still need some more stone for it, I'll just buy that off the market. And yeah, so now I can just go ahead, grab the market and place it. What would be a good spot for it? I'm not quite sure. Maybe honestly just at the end of this path. I don't think that works quite well. I'll just place it off to the side here. How about that? Yeah, that should work just fine. So let's place it right there. And now if I go ahead and grab some type of housing, you can see that there's a radius around the market where I can place housing, and it stretches all the way to this place over here. So I guess the full circle would be kind of like this, I'm not sure. But yeah, well anyways, I guess let's start building the town. Okay, well, I think the town is actually coming together quite nicely. I have not even added any trees yet, and it already looks quite decent. With some trees, some vegetation like that, it will look even way better. I added these kind of keys, I guess you could say, so you can kind of imagine like big ships are going through here making waves, so there needs to be a kind of little edge to protect this village from the waves and stuff. I also put down a few fisheries, some stuff like that. And yeah, well, I actually realized that I do now have enough wood to actually be able to place down a small ship for the port. It is quite expensive, it costs a whole 1000 wood, but it does actually further reduce the shipping costs for all of the resources you buy on the global market. So I think that in the end, in the long run, it is absolutely worth it. So let's go ahead, grab that, and I don't actually want to place it near the port down here. I do actually want to place it right about here, like heading out into the sea, I guess you could say. So let's place it like here in the middle of this crossing. And yeah, so you can see that in addition to the minus 50% that I get for the port, I also get minus 10% transport fees for the small ship that I just placed. And I don't think that these bonuses stack, like if I place another small ship then I will not get an additional minus 10%, I need to place the medium and large ship for that, and then they will provide different bonuses. But yeah, later on maybe I can place some more ships just for the visuals, but I mean right now it is still almost a whole day of wood production for me, so I am not that rich yet, and yeah, just one ship will be good enough for now. But yeah, well, let's just get back to building the town.
Fast forward a year or two, friends have changed, but so can you. So can you. For too long about the mistakes, while I resent, I learned to hate. Forgot your names. Fear the struggle to follow on. Need to focus to prove you're wrong. I'm not wrong. I know I'm holding on to this.
Okay, and just like that, this first island is now completely filled out, and I am also almost out of wood. This island actually ended up fitting a lot more stuff than I thought it would. For some reason I thought that it was a lot smaller than this. But yeah, so now with it filled out, we do have 268 available workers, but we also do have some deficits in some of the resources because of the stuff we placed. We have quite a heavy grain deficit because of the brewery I placed and the new drinks production that I have now, and we also have quite a big food deficit. I mean, I guess it's not that big, it's only 50 per day, it's kind of alright, but I do still need to even out these deficits. So let's very quickly just do that now. I think the most important deficit to even out is the grain one, so let's start off by placing some grain fields. So just this one field should be fine for that, and let's also place a few potato fields. And just like that, both our grain and food deficit are now evened out. But as you can see, I do actually still have 251 available workers. And once again, I think that I want to use these workers to produce more wood, even more wood. Last episode we already filled in all of this wood production area, there is no more space here. So today I have to think of a new area to put some wood production in. And I think I actually have a somewhat unique idea on how I want to actually do the wood production. I mean, I'm sure other people have already done the same in other cities around the world, but yeah, I think it is still a good idea, and well, that is those circular kind of fields that you often see in dry places on Earth. Obviously, this is not a dry place in the slightest, but I think that circular fields like that, or I guess in this case circular plantations, would still give off quite a nice look to the area. And yeah, well, I am thinking that since my next major city will be in this sort of area, I could build them off to the side a little bit over here. So yeah, in a circle this size basically. But obviously, plantations are still quite expensive and I am currently out of wood completely. So I think for now I will actually just buy some more off the market and hope that is enough for this. And yeah, I can afford just 1.2 thousand wood, which is definitely not that much, but hopefully that is enough for at least one of these circles. Yeah, so I can just barely afford to place one of them, and that will cost me 1000 wood and 110 available workers. So yeah, let's go ahead and place that down. And yeah, I think the visual from far away as well will be kinda cool, but obviously I want to do a few of them. I think at least 5 or 6 of them eventually in this area. But yeah, obviously to do that now I will need to wait for a bit more wood. Okay, so now actually quite a lot of time has passed. In fact, my wood storage is completely full now. I have 12.4 thousand wood, so now I can keep expanding. And yeah, so I do actually still have enough for available workers to place one more of these plantation circles, so that is what I'm gonna do first.
I'm lacking sincerity, but you don't care at all. Miss booze, lit cigarettes, trying to take me home.
And that will be fine for now. I did also add some paths, but I did not connect them up to the rest of the road system just yet because I'm not quite sure how the road is gonna go through the city that will be here eventually. So yeah, that will just stay disconnected for now. And another thing that I've been meaning to do for a little while is actually to go ahead and upgrade my town square, or my town center, to a square. That really doesn't do much except it adds a little bit more overall storage and it also makes it look nice, because right now it's kind of like an outpost out of tents like this, but if I just go ahead and upgrade it, it will cost me a good bit of resources, but yeah, now it looks like a lot more of an important building. I should probably move this vegetable stand though, because it's kind of overlapping. Let's just put it like that. Yeah. But yeah, now the next thing that I want to focus on is filling out the next island in this island chain. And that will be this island over here. So let's go ahead and go to housing and figure out where I will place the market. I think maybe something like up here is fine because it's kind of like the biggest land area here. So yeah, let's just place it over. And yeah, let's get to filling out this island.
I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Fell in love with my broken pieces, took 'em all and made 'em yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. out the sky onto my heart to cover up what I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Fell in love with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know what my heartbeat needed. Skipping out, no, I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher.
Okay, now this town is complete as well. And with this town complete, we have actually reached a pretty important milestone. And that is that if I hover over my population, you can see that now my total population capacity is 1.2 thousand, and before it was less than 1000. So yeah, with this town we have passed the 1000 population mark. Oh, and it does seem like I forgot to place some trees on these little connecting islands, so let's just do that real quick. And yeah, another thing that I didn't mention before is that there was actually an update to the game while I was waiting for more wood to be produced. And that update is that now you can go ahead, click on these markets here, and you can actually give them a completely custom name, which was not possible before. Before you could only give random names to your city itself and not even to these outside markets. But now you can give a fully custom name to these markets, and you can actually, like if I was to, for example, type in best here and click the check mark, then you can see that it appears on the map just like this. So yeah, if you have any suggestions for town names for both this town and this town as well, they both need names, then put them in the comments and I will probably pick one of them because I'm not that creative myself. But yeah, now with these two towns built, that is most of the land area of the islands surrounding this area completely built up. There is just this little bit here, and I do not want to leave it empty. I do actually want to build something here as well. Kind of like a really small town on this side here. I'm not sure if I can place a single center that reaches both this little peninsula and all the way to this end, but let's just see if one market can reach all the way or not. And oh, actually the land isn't even really thick enough for me to place a market. Okay, how does it look if I place it right here? Yeah, then if I go to housing, it only reaches to over here. So if I move it, let's say, here to the middle, I mean, obviously this won't work, it's blocking the path, but yeah, like this, it reaches both ends of it. I'm not sure what I can really do about that. Yeah, let's see if I can figure it out and make it work somehow. Okay, I think that should work just fine. It's not perfect, but placing it here gives me just about enough space to reach this peninsula. And yeah, the road kind of goes through the actual market for this area. So yeah, let's go ahead and fill this area out with some housing.
Left a star glowing in your eyes when I'm not aware.
Okay, now this side is complete as well. And of course I will also need a name for this town, so once again, if you have a suggestion, then put it in the comments. And yeah, well, with that I think we completely filled out this entire starting area. And honestly, I quite like it. It's quite beautiful with this main town in the middle here and these 3 island towns all around. But yeah, anyways, now after building all of this, we once again have quite a lot of available workers. We have 340 of them actually. And just like before, I actually want to use them in order to get even more wood production up. And I will do that by placing more of these wood kind of circles here. Each one of them requires around 110 workers, so I should be able to place 3 of them. But they are actually quite expensive to place and cost around 1000 wood each, so I do not have enough right now. But what I do have is around 900 coins, so let's go ahead and see in the global market how much people are selling wood for. And yeah, the cheapest right now is 0.52 for each, which will not be quite cheap enough for me, but I will still buy like 1,000 maybe? But actually, will it be enough? How much do I need? I need like 3,000, so I need 2.1 thousand to buy. And yeah, I don't quite have enough coins for it. Let's just buy 1.6k for now and see how far I get with that. Yeah, so now I have 2.5 thousand wood. I'm almost out of coins, but I should be able to place at least 2 of these circles. Okay, so I don't quite have enough wood to place the last one, so we'll just do that maybe in the next episode. But yeah, for now, these will be just enough, and with these 4 plantations, we are now up to 3.4 thousand wood production per day. And now there is just one more thing that I would like to do today, and that is that after building all of this, obviously right now our food and also grain production is negative once again. The grain production, by the way, is negative because I placed a brewery, I think it was over here, yeah, a brewery over here, and I also placed a bunch of taverns, so yeah, because of that we are now producing 196 coins per day. That will be good in the long term. But yeah, right now I need a little bit of grain production and a bit of food production as well. And while I didn't really want to place wheat fields and a windmill beforehand, I think that now I might want to actually do that. So yeah, windmill will be producing 100 flour per day, and each bakery consumes 50 per day and produces 100 food per day. So yeah, I just need 1 windmill and 2 bakeries. And then I should be fine for a little while again. But obviously the windmill also consumes 100 grain per day. So if I do the math, then that is minus 42 right now, and the windmill will consume 100 more. Then I need a field that produces around 150 grain per day. You know, I think that I will just place it next to these plantations for now. I might end up moving it later. I'm not quite sure how big this city that will be here will expand. But yeah, if the fields get in the way, I can always just move them. But for now, I think I will just place the wheat field somewhere over here. Okay, and that field should be just about enough. But I don't think I will actually have enough resources to place the windmill now. Yeah, it requires 200 wood, 100 stone. I only have 50 coins. Let's see if I can afford that actually. So yeah, a little bit of stone. This is the cheapest one. And just a little bit of wood as well, maybe. And I actually can't quite set the slider low enough in order to buy such a small amount, because the person is selling 34,000, so each increment is actually quite big on the slider. I kind of wish that you could just enter the amount of resources you wanted to buy instead of the slider here. But yeah, so I will need to just wait for a little bit more wood to be produced. It shouldn't be too long because I produced 3.4 thousand per day now. And how much will I need for the actual bakeries as well? But they were here. And yeah, they will also need 50 stone actually, and 100 wood each. So yeah, let's see actually how much more stone I can afford, because wood won't really be an issue. I'm producing quite a lot of it, and yeah, the cheapest stone is 1 for each stone, so that isn't really that cheap. I will buy some anyways, just because I mean I need it. And yeah, once again, this step of the slider is a bit too big, and this is a little bit too small, but I can maybe just buy it once and then maybe go again. Yeah, I can do that. So yeah, let's just wait for a little bit more resources to be produced, and I think I should be just about able to set up some food production. And so now that I have a little bit more wood and I have also bought some more stone from the market, I can go ahead and place a windmill right next to this one down here. Oh, actually I can't, because these windmills can't be too close to each other. So where else could I place it? What could be a good spot for a windmill? What about like up here? Yeah, this could work. This looks like a nice spot. Maybe facing like this way. Yeah, let's place it right over here. Let's also make a little path leading to it. Just like that. Yeah, that will work just fine. And now for the bakeries. I don't really have a good spot to place them because all of these towns are already completely finished, so there isn't really any space for extra buildings. So just for now I will place the bakeries just simply in this area where the next big city will go, and when I actually start building that, then I will put them in a spot that makes more sense in the big city. So yeah, for now let's just do 1 and 2. So yeah, 2 bakeries. And yeah, just like that, we no longer have a food deficit. This earth deficit that we still have is kind of alright. I can just buy more earth from the market when this one runs out, or just turn off the glass production. That is fine too. It's not really that crucial, I will just need it later on. So that is why I'm using earth right now. And this ore deficit is also alright, because actually raw iron ore is quite cheap on the market, so I would rather just run a deficit and buy some every once in a while than be producing tools more slowly. So yeah, well anyways, I think that will actually be it for this episode. We definitely got a lot of stuff done. I mean, we built 3 different towns. Like, we completely finished off this whole starting area. I mean, that is just massive progress if you ask me. And yeah, well, once again, I still need some name suggestions for all 3 of these towns, so if you have a good suggestion for any of them, or maybe all 3 of them at the same time, then just leave the suggestion in the comments. And yeah, that will be it for this episode, and see you in the next one. Goodbye.